video. Today, as you guys can see, we've got the Yu-Gi-Oh cards back out. We're gonna be talking about Sky Striker today. Now, I played pure branded at the last event I went to, and it went horribly. Part of that is, I'm just not a good branded pilot, but also I just didn't feel super comfortable with it. I wanted to play Sky Striker, but some of the cards that I really wanted to play didn't come in, so I was kind of like forced into playing branded, but the cards did come in, so I wanted to talk about the deck. I wanted to show what I've been working on. I've been playing this online a pretty good amount recently, and I feel way more comfortable with this deck than pretty much any other deck in the format. So I think going forward, this will be what I'm on, at least for a bit. So also, I kind of changed the way I'm filming the videos. Everything about my mic is the same, but the camera is a little bit different. I set it up so that way I'm using my phone to record instead of my webcam. And I'm not really sold on, how it looks so far, but I think it definitely looks a little better. We got a little bit of a glare on that side, so I'm gonna move over here. Also, please ignore the mat. It's a little bit dirty, but it's a cloth black mat. There's not really much I can do. I promise you guys I'm not gross. Anyway, let me get started. Of course, we're playing 3 Ray. Ray does so much for the deck now that Zero is out that really didn't do before. Ray always adds an extra layer of interruption that really helps in like grindy games. I'm playing 1 Rose. Now Rose is I think a controversial card as far as like how many you play, because a lot of builds are playing Pot of Desires. I have opted not to play that card. I hate that card. I think it's power crept now, and it's just annoying. I hate when I activate Desires and I banish both my Rose, and then I can't activate Zero's effect, or I banish a bunch of engages and can't play the game. So I'm playing 1 Rose and no Desires, and I'll talk about why in a bit. Of course, 3 Engage, one of the best Yu-Gi-Oh cards ever printed. Not being once per turn is insane. Pretty self-explanatory there. I'm playing 3 Linkage. I think Linkage is both underrated and overrated, if that makes sense. Like, there are some hands where I just don't want to see this card at all. And then there are other hands where this card is like the difference between winning and losing the game. So I don't see myself going down less than 3, like playing 2, but I guess I wouldn't be like surprised if people do, or like totally against the idea. 3-Way to Anchor. This is kind of similar. Similar built decks like mine are playing 2 of this. Like for example, my deck is based off of Ray Dies from I believe YCS Columbus, and then some of the other channels around are kind of taking inspiration from him, and then I'm taking inspiration from them. Like mostly GVYC, the Yu-Gi-Oh group in Chicago. They have a couple videos about this, and shout out them, shout out Ray Die. But I think we disagree on this. I'm seeing a lot of them only playing 2 Widow Anchor. And there's a reason for me in a lot of my hands that Widow Anchor is the first thing I search with Engage. And like, just based on that, I want to see this card as much as possible. So playing 3 really makes sense to me. And it's not once per turn, like it kind of is if you're taking the opponent's monster, but it's really not. And you, like, if you see this card going second, it's also really, really good, so I'm playing 3 for now. And then the 1-0 Sky Strikers, 1 Shark Cannon, 1 Drones, and then 1 Lemnis Gate. When I was playing Desires, similar to Rose, the Lemnis Gate was at 2 because this card is really, really impactful and I never wanted to banish it. And because I'm not playing Desires, I was able to cut down from 2 to 1, and this feels way better. So that is it for the Sky Striker cards. You might notice that's not really a lot. And that is because... Oh. Let's go right there. Nope. Right there. That is because I am playing Radiant Typhoon cards. So, 1 Eldom, 1 Swen, 1 Chant, and then 3 Vision. I know this is not Vision, but it is. That's just because my 3rd Vision is lost, or the 4th one is in the mail. So, and then I guess the one MST. I am playing MST. So, the theory behind this is that you don't want to die to Droll, and you also don't want to banish things off of Desires. So this engine does a lot of things. If you can vision draw in draw or standby phase, you're kind of dodging Droll, or at least prolonging Droll. This is also a really good bait for Ash Blossom. Playing online, a lot of people will Ash Blossom Vision, which you're like, okay, Ash Vision, and then I just activate Engage. Also, these enchant are 1 card combo Camellia, and then you make Camellia, and then you dump Engage, link it to Kagari, add back Engage. So drawing any of these going first is just really good. And this card is, being able to search MST is kind of underrated right now. Not a lot of decks die to this, but a lot of decks are impacted by it. It can force out like a Fallen and Virtuous from Branded, or a lot of rogue decks, or sometimes just that little bit of interruption into Doomsy can really help. But yeah, these are getting sided out going second because your opponent will have spell and traps, so you can't really special these as freely. But they're very, very good. This engine right here is like insane in this deck. Whoops. Then we have some 1-ofs, Rhoda, Talent, Called By. This is obviously just more Ray. These two are insane. If you get ashed on like an Engage, they're already down 1 card. You Talents look at their hand, or you Talents to draw 2 to play more. This card is really, really good going first. But honestly, it's not bad going second either. Like, you can Talents to take, or draw 2 to play through stuff, but you could also like there are weird game states where you can look at the hand and rip a droll before they can activate it. It doesn't happen super often, but I've had it come up. But I usually do side out the Talons going second. And then we have some board breakers. 3 Droplet, 3 Fall on the Virtuous. This card is in like everyone's deck right now. It's just really good, and it recycles itself, which is really good for the grind game that you want to play with Striker. And these are also quick plays that you can discard off of Vision if you draw 2 and you don't have something that you would rather get rid of. These are good. And Droplet is still, people are hating on Droplet this format, but Droplet is really good still. It can force your engage through sometimes. It can force some of your breakers through. It can also come up where it's pretty impactful going first. So, I really like Droplet. I also don't own Crown. I don't know if I would play Crown in this deck. I'm not seeing very many people on it, but I could be wrong. And then this is kind of like the theory spot of the deck. 2 Droll, 3 Ash, and 3 Imperm. The idea here is that you draw cards that help you against combo. They give you like a fighting chance. Yes, Ash is not ending turns. Yes, Imperm is not ending turns. Droll sometimes will. But they're all like added interruption to going first and second. These cards are impactful. They help you stop those decks that otherwise you're not beating. And an added bonus of all these cards is they back up your board. If you go first and you get trolled, or you only draw one way to play and it gets ashed or impermed, you have these that you don't need to play the game to have in your hand to interact with your opponent. So I really like these cards. I think it's when I saw the videos of people talking about the theory of playing hand traps like these in Striker, it actually made a lot of sense, and I really liked it, so thought I'd give it a try, and it's been really, really good. So that is it for the main deck. Here, let's go ahead and put Ray on top so you're not just looking at a droll. Let's go into the extra quick. Nothing really special. A 3-0. You could probably get away with playing 2, but I feel that if you play 2, you have to play absolutely perfect. And the third comes up for me a lot because I don't play perfect, so I'm playing 3. Similarly, Kagari. If you play perfect, you probably can get away with 2. But there aren't really that many cards I'd rather play, or even want to play at all. The list is pretty short, so 3-0 and 3 Kagari has been feeling great for me, so I'm just sticking with it. Then the Link ones, Hayate, Shizuku, and Amatsu. This is needed like for the clear board OTK, or sometimes like just to get engaged going second. Shizuku is important for like your don't really open a way to 0 play. Or, to play through hand traps, you can Shizuku add linkage in the end phase. Linkage send, special 0. Amatsu is actually really good. I was sleeping on this card a I saw everyone talking about how good it was, and I just didn't get it until, I started looking at different ways to make this card, and making it on, like, your opponent's turn when you go first is really good. And then you can make it use its effect to, like, pseudo negate a card, pop it, and then bring back Ray from grave, and then your resource loop just keeps going. It comes up way more than I thought. And then the Link 2s, Zeke, Azalea, and Camellia. Camellia, I think is how you say it, actually. Everyone was crying, months ago to get this card in the TCG, and I see why. This card is surprisingly not as good, in my opinion, in Pure Striker as it is in, like, Splash Engine decks, like Yummy and stuff, but it does come up a lot in, like, the Striker Radiant Typhoon deck that I have, so I like it. I would never play this deck without it. It comes up plenty. Azalea is another sleeper card. I know I'm just kind of, like, hyping up all the Striker cards. I love the Striker cards. But this is, like, comes up way more than you would think. Especially with, like, Branded still existing, being light or dark. Malice is still alive. Some Yummy, some Fiendsmith. Like, this card can come up quite a bit this format. Cool Tune, even. And then the Fallen and the Virtuous targets are Zens. This is kind of where I wish I had another spot. And, like, technically I do. Another Albion would be nice, I won't lie. It would kind of make the grind game better. But you're drawing so many cards that you might not need it anyway. And you lose out on utility by playing a second. And honestly, if you need the third Fallen and Virtuous, then I probably misplayed somewhere, and I should have won the game by then. So as of right now, I'm only playing one, and then the Ecclesia. But that could change. And then my 15th card is Typhon. I find it hard to play decks without Typhon, because yes, this card doesn't win you many games. So many times you play this card, it's a last effort to do anything, and it never, it doesn't pan out often. But when it does, and when you win the games from Typhon, you were never winning that game without this card in your deck. And to me, that seems worth it. So, that is it for the extra. Like I said, so far I'm pretty satisfied with it. I could go back and forth on a couple things, but for right now it seems to be pretty good. And then the side deck I've been playing is kind of odd, and is by no means finalized, but I've been pleasantly surprised by trying out some of these cards. 3 Fua, I feel like that's obvious. This is not one of the surprise cards I was talking about. Just so good going second and draws you into insane cards. 2 Thrust. I feel like this is pretty standard in a Striker list. The Thrust is just so good. And it's flexible. If you guys have watched any of my deck profiles before, you know that I love flexible cards in the side deck, and Thrust is often one of them because I can play it going first and second, and it's just exceptional in this deck. And then Breakers, I'm playing 2 Lightning Storm, one of my favorite cards of all time, and pairs really well with Thrust, and is really good in the Striker deck to begin with. And then I'm also playing a Dark Ruler No More. I'm on the fence about this card. I can't tell if I love it. I can't tell if I hate it. But it does come up and feels impactful. But maybe there are better cards. Maybe an Illusion Gate. But I don't own one of those. So, for now I'm on this. And then this one's a little odd, I know. Afterburners. This is partly like a nostalgic pick. I just really like this card. It's one of my, nostalgic striker cards. But it actually really does help break boards. I had a game the other day where I was playing, I can't remember the matchup, but I engaged for this. I already had 3 spells in grave. I think it was like a Vision, a Rhoda, and then I don't remember what the third spell was, but I engaged for Afterburners. Afterburners popped a monster and a spell. And then I linked into Kagari. Kagari added back this, pumped 2 more, and then was able to grind out that game. And I don't think that I would have been able to if I wasn't playing Afterburners. Maybe there was a line, but I didn't see it, and this just made it really easy. Being able to have a board breaker in your deck that is searchable off Engage and also lets you draw a card is something that these or Duster don't do. So honestly not that bad, but not fully sold on it either. And then going first, Thrust targets, 2 flexible spots here. The Simmel Archfiends is it can help sometimes. If you're playing against Cooltoon, it helps you not die. Kind of the same with Doomsy. It's just kind of like a not die card. It's pretty good against Malice. If they make Lizardos first, you just activate this card and then they kind of have to end their turn. Black Goat Laughs is iffy because you have to have really good knowledge to use this card properly, and I'm often not making the right read or not making the right call, but I think that's just an experience thing. I think it's not a problem with the card. I think it's a pilot problem. So I'm gonna keep playing it for now and see where more experience gets me with it. And then kind of weird. 2 Therion King Regulus. This is very odd. I know, I haven't seen anybody on this. But in theory, going first, you're always making a machine engrave or are able to do so because all of your links are machines, right? So if all of your links are machines, you have a machine engrave to equip. And my thoughts behind this are, if your opponent is going to activate breakers that they side into you, whether that be Lightning Storm, Duster, but mostly Lightning Storm. They have to do it like first action before they have something on their board, in which case using this is really impactful, and it puts them on having to draw more than one breaker, and it also clears your main monster zone by itself. So while it's on the field, it blocks like your striker spells. But if this is your like first action to negate whatever their first thing is, you're trading 1 for 1, but you've already played the game and they haven't. And it tributes for cost, or sends itself for cost, so you don't have to worry about it getting stuck. The problem with it is that it takes up one of your spell and trap zones with the equipped machine. Now that is not ideal, right? But often, going first, there's not that many cards that you want to set, like, because of the backup hand traps that I have. You might set an Imperm, but you're not setting an Ash. You're not setting a Droll. I'm often siding out Droplets, so that's that's 3 cards that you're not setting. So you're probably setting a Widow Anchor. You're probably setting Lemnis Gate. Maybe a Shark Cannon. And those are like the 2 or 3 that you really want. So often I found that I have space for this, and it's been pretty good. I don't know if it's the best. There's probably better cards that you can side in this spot. But as of right now, I've been really enjoying it, and it's kind of like a awkward, fun card, so yeah. If there's any striker players here, let me know what your thoughts on this card are. Like, am I trolling by playing it, or like, do you guys kind of understand where I'm coming from? And then, so that's 13. I really wanted 2 spots for, sorry about that. I really wanted 2 spots for like Mitsurugi, the Striker Mirror, and then like any other awkward spots where these come up. So I'm playing 2 Bystials. I think they're really good, but I don't know if it's worth it. Like, if I was going to an event tomorrow, would I see the decks that these are there for often enough to like warrant playing them? Maybe not. But when you do play against those, like Mitsurugi deck, this is mainly Mitsurugi. When you do play against that deck, or like hitting Ray out of your mirror's graveyard, like it comes up, and it's really good when it does, and then you can kind of maneuver your field around to where this doesn't stop your striker spells. At least that's the idea. I have had situations where they get stuck, and that sucks. But I don't know how often that's the case. But yeah, so far I like the Bystials. So yeah, that's all I got for the deck today. So thank you guys for being here. I really like the opportunity to like yap about the cards that I like. And hopefully it's relaxing. If you're a striker fan, let me know below. Let me know what you thought. if you're a Yu-Gi-Oh fan at all, let me know. And if you're not, hopefully the video is relaxing. That's the whole goal. So, if you are going to sleep, hopefully you already are. And if you're not, I hope you sleep well. If you are not going to sleep and you're going about the rest of your day, I hope you do so just a little bit more relaxed. Thank you guys. See you next time.